Hello, welcome to Manifest Heal. I'm Jessica, and today I want to get started on our first conversation about grief. And it's really about reconnecting to your body after grief or trauma has occurred, or the beginnings of it. We all know that when we have something bad happen, a trauma, or someone passes, or we lose somebody, even if that's a relationship, no one's passed away, it's just a relationship loss. We just enter trauma. We enter grief. We don't have it and it goes away really quick. It comes in stages and it comes in layers. And guys, that's just because we are so complicated. We are so darn complicated. We have emotions, we have feelings, we have, we have things from our childhood, hopes and dreams of the future. We have subconscious things, conscious things, spiritual things, religious things. Lord have mercy. We have so many things in layers that when the trauma hits or the grief hits, the reason it's so traumatic, why we give it the word trauma in the first place, it's not what happens, it's how you feel about it. Because someone might have a car accident. Okay, this happened when I was a child. We were in a car accident with my mother. Somebody ran a stop sign, hit my mom's Buick, and she did a couple of 360s in the middle of the road on Euclid Avenue, which was really scary, sort of. Yeah, for me, not so much. I understood what was happening conceptually. I understood a car hit the car. I understood that it could have been worse and we could have been injured. But overall, I was okay. We got out of the car okay. My father was called and he showed up very quickly from his office that was nearby. On the other hand, my sister was traumatized. Completely traumatized. She was in the back seat. I was in the front. That changed our angle. That changed our perspective. That changed a lot of things about it. But she was traumatized. And for a while there, some of us felt like she was over-traumatized. She was overacting or overreacting to it. But you can't judge someone else's trauma. And what scares them, what makes them feel things, how they react, that's theirs, and they're allowed to have that. So even though we were in the same vehicle, and we're just 2 years apart, so maybe a little bit of cognitive difference, as far as maturity levels or something, but, she's a fairly mature. So we just totally took the incident completely different, and we have different memories of it entirely. Two people, not 2 or 3 feet away from each other, completely different worlds, right? So I'm mentioning that because I want you to understand that right now, whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, whatever has caused a trauma in you, it is not anyone else's place to tell you whether it is or is not a legitimate trauma. That's just the truth. Some people may not like it. Some people may think whatever they think. For you, there's a reason it's a trauma. And some of the reasons we know that we're in a trauma is, number one, the thought pattern. We just keep reliving it, going back to it. We think about what could have happened, what else could have happened, or this, or this, or this. So we're ruminating and ruminating, right? Then another one that you can understand or see is if you're having trouble sleeping, because when you go to sleep at night in your body, you're supposed to be in REM sleep. You're supposed to be dreaming and processing all these things with your subconscious, but it's really disruptive. It's a bit difficult. It's hard. You can't sleep as well as you were before. Okay, another sign that you've been through trauma, or that you have whatever you're worried about or ruminating about is causing trauma, is that your body is going to have different pain points in it. It could be a lot of them or it could be a few of them. But notice anything in your body that's different. It wasn't there before. It wasn't something that you were experiencing before this trauma happened. Even if it's headaches. But if you have a mysterious pain in your leg, if you have mysterious pain in your elbow, your back, anything like that, or you suddenly feel like you have tightness in the chest, and I do recommend you go to the doctor or whatever you need to do to take care of yourself on that. But understand that sometimes the tightness in the chest is because we've subconsciously been holding ourselves shoulders up, really tense, and we begin to have a little bit of a panic response because something is spinning around in our mind. So when you take all of those into consideration, I'm asking you to have mercy and grace on yourself and others. We do not get to decide if someone else did or did not experience a trauma during an incident. You're not them, and you don't know. Unless you can be a safe place for them to discuss it, and maybe you can understand. And that's a good thing to do. If you are not experiencing a trauma, but someone around you is, can you be a safe place for them? Can you hold space for them to talk about their trauma? Will you then not use that information against them later? Will you then not, this is why a lot of us keep this grief and this trauma stuff to ourselves. We have been absolutely further traumatized by people who just wanted things to use for whatever reason. But today we're going to talk about ourselves. And again, you are free to share or not share. I am absolutely not going to judge anybody on anything. Done with that. Went an entire lifetime with that and being trained to do that. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't get to decide for you what you think is right or wrong for you. But likewise, that's, one of my boundaries now is you don't get to tell me either. I do, I'm not saying we can't have good discourse. I don't believe we can't. We can still have a good conversation. I just mean when somebody literally walks up and they're like, you shouldn't think like that ever because it's wrong, that I still get to decide. So, and you get to decide your life. So what I want to talk about today is in that pre-example, talking about two different people, two completely different versions of what happened that day, two completely different experiences. One has trauma, one does not. When you have identified and you have accepted that you are in trauma, you are in grief, you are in trauma, then you're going to have a lot to heal with. And I want to encourage you and tell you that this is something everybody goes through at some point in their life. And it can happen at any age. And you're okay where you're at right now. You're okay with the age you are. There's a reason for everything. I can't tell you why. I'm not going to pretend I know why. I just know there's a lesson in it. I experienced a trauma myself when I was 27 years old. My father died suddenly of a massive heart attack in the kitchen of our house. And it was very fast and very quick. After that, let's do this. Let's talk about what not to do. After that, I did everything in my power that I possibly could to keep my family comfortable and safe, and made sure that my mother got as much attention as humanly possible. Tried to help my sister when I could. My mother, though, was always needing a lot of attention. So family came, and I had to be the strong one. I had to be the one that wasn't upset too much. And I had to be the adult. That's the truth. I had to be the adult. I was used to it. When things were difficult around the house and the family was having issues or fights or arguments, then I was very often the adult in the house, even as a child. So I took it upon myself to be the strong one during that time. And a week after my father died, and I'd gone to the funeral, we'd done all that, I went right back to work. I went right back to my job, and I didn't complain, and I didn't say anything. I didn't ask for help. I didn't ask anybody for anything at all. I did my best to be the least needy, not need any help. I'm good. I've got it. No, don't worry about me. You do what you need to do for you. I'm just going to go and, That was the biggest mistake. Now, I learned from it, so there's that. But it was a big mistake. I was in a lot of pain, and I still have a lot of pain. And partly didn't ask for help, didn't want to be needy in any kind of way because I was trying to be strong. Partly, I knew what would happen if I broke. Because it was not long after that I did my best. I stayed with my mom and lived in her house with her, and did the laundry, did the dishes, cleaned things, cooked, did everything I could to not be a burden, not be a problem. And it very quickly became, I was absolutely a problem, a huge problem. And one of those problems was that I was just adopted and I didn't have the right to grieve like she did. So that was traumatizing. I had trauma on top of trauma. So that was traumatizing. I'm so sorry for my sister being traumatized by that car wreck. I've had my own traumas that don't traumatize her because they weren't for her. She's got her things, I've got mine. And that's okay. People say things when they're in grief, and so this is part of why I'm talking about this right now. I don't want you to sit here and say, oh my God, your mom, blah, 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 blah. No, listen. If you do not deal with your grief, if you do not process some of these emotions as you can, and I'm talking about in pieces, not all at once, they have a weird way of rearing up their ugly head later. Because when we don't deal with the grief appropriately, it comes out later as resentment. Or it can cause bitterness. Or it can cause, it can cause really hurt feelings towards other people. I can't tell you why my mother said those things. And it doesn't really matter if she meant them or not because she said them. But for whatever reason, whatever caused her to say it, I know it's because she wasn't dealing with the darker part of herself that was legitimately angry. We have to face these things. We do have anger. We are upset. We simultaneously can love someone and loathe them. And it's weird and conflicting because technically they're coming from different aspects of ourselves. The part of us that loves them is not the part of us that loathes them because they're completely different things going on. So the part of her that was so angry and aggressive that day and said so many cruel things was legitimately hurt and unhappy and sad. But it also overrode her empathy. It also overrode kindness. And instead of dealing with this on her own in her privacy, with meditation and prayer or journaling or something, a good friend, she took it out in a moment where the emotions were so much that it just all blurted out and it was all a big mess, okay? And that's where we fall apart. That's where we start to lose people. And if you're watching this video and you're still here, I can promise you right now, I can almost guarantee that you've lost a lot of people very close to you. And I don't mean because they passed away. I mean because you've had to cut people off. They've cut all the things. This is a very unique time. We are not growing up taking our children to the family picnics anymore. If you are, God bless you. We don't have that anymore. The families don't get together. People don't talk anymore. There's no community. There's no communication. Everybody's on their own doing their own thing with their own little, family groups. It's fractured. And it's so fractured because I think over the last few decades, the amount of trauma, grief, sadness, things happening, especially by that silent generation and those who didn't say anything when horrible things were happening, and it became normal to not say anything because truth became gossip, because revealing what people were doing and expecting consequences and responsibility became taboo. Responsibility became taboo. Think about that. Why are we all traumatized? Why are so many families breaking up? That's it. My mother couldn't do anything but traumatize me because she's still traumatized from all the crap she didn't deal with long before I was born. But when I was born and then I was adopted into the family and then my sister was too, guess what? We were adopted in conjunction with her trauma. So her perspective of us, her perspective and our value were embedded with that trauma. We have to stop this, guys. I'm with you. I'm with you. Not only did I lose somebody a long time ago, but our family just experienced a fire, and not everybody made it. So I'm walking through this valley with you. You are not alone. I'm right here with you. And I'm telling you, after the experience years ago and not doing it right, I need to do it right this time. And I have to take what I didn't do right the first time into this one too. Because every trauma and every passing away of someone is going to resurrect what's not been dealt with, especially from the previous ones. So I encourage you to be mindful of your body. If you are grieving, drink some water. Pause the video right now and go get a glass of water. Honey, I know you're not drinking enough water. Let's take a minute, focus. I've got my copper on, got my natural stones on to keep me balanced, to keep me grounded. Absolutely. I have been wearing them without fail, remembering every day to put them on if I don't sleep with them. So we get grounded and we get focused, and we're going to take a big, deep breath in. I want you to breathe in for a count of 4, and I want you to exhale for a count of 6. We are going to exhale longer than the amount of time we breathe in, okay, honey? So just go with me. Ready? And out. You may want to go longer. I do. But breathe in for 4. Out for 6. Breathe in for 4. Out for 6. Do it again. And I want you to feel your shoulders relax. I want you to feel your jaw loosen up. I want you to start to see where you start to feel heavy, where you're feeling weight, and where you're feeling lighter, okay? That's okay. Whatever's going on with you as you breathe, check that out. Where are you heavy? Where are you light? Where are you numb? Okay, our body retains trauma. Even if it's a trauma that we've heard about. We weren't in it, we hear about it. Whatever you're doing in that moment, it's like your body takes a snapshot. I sell moringa on our website now, and I wanted to talk to you about it in relation to this grief and trauma. As things are happening in your life, when a trauma happens, whatever sudden moment that is, if it's a sudden one, whatever's going on in your body at that time can often cause when it says your body holds trauma, your body has a memory. Your body remembers the trauma. After my father died, I developed PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So what that means is my hormones are completely messed up. No, there's a lot to it. And when I was diagnosed, it wasn't in the book yet. It was too early. Their recommended treatments are typically Prozac or just happy pills. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to be very honest on here. I hope you all know that. If you don't like me, please go ahead and click away, because I'm not happy with the pharmaceutical industry. I'm not going to push it, and I'm not going to talk good about it. Their treatment for PMDD was antidepressant meds. I did that for a while. Could care less. Got on with my life and started working and getting busy and doing things and yada, yada, yada. Well, PMDD is not that simple and shouldn't be ignored, and I ignored it. As you can see, I have a problem with ignoring things I don't want to deal with. Like grief, like PMDD. And it was getting to the point where it was starting to, Lord have mercy, you all, I'm such a hard-headed, stubborn case. It was literally getting to the point where it was disrupting my ability to function every day, because that's how far it has to go before I take any steps towards resolving it. I will fight through and push through and work my butt off to get through things, but not do, I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. It was getting to the point where it was just disrupting my ability to function in daily life. And so PMDD, what typically happens is you can have a pretty normal month. I usually do, but at the end of a cycle, women's cycle, you have a complete and total crash. Can't get out of bed, can't move, exhaustion, deep depression. You go from 0 to -60 in like 2.3 seconds. Faster than a Bugatti. And it's hard. It's hard on everybody around you, and it's hard on you. So it's not good. So I did start taking some, I went the holistic route with the natural remedies and was on a thyroid tincture, which is supposed to help with my energy, and a few other supplements that help with cellular function and keeping those levels up and restoring balance. But it was kind of a Band-Aid. It was very much a Band-Aid. So I talked to a good friend of mine named Patricia Pierce, and she told me all about her moringa and what it had done for her, and I was like, oh yes, I will try that. And that's how I got into taking moringa. Moringa, within 2 weeks, I was off of all of my other remedies. They had just been taking the edge off. If I accidentally took a little bit too much of the liquid tincture, I could have a panic attack. It was a mess. Not moringa. I take 2 moringa every single morning, and it absolutely stabilizes. It's an adaptogen, so it's helping my thyroid. It's helping everything. So it's helping everything. I love it. And so it's absolutely a must-have. It's replaced everything else. I can take other supplements if I want to, if I'm feeling like I need to for some reason, I still love my garlic and honey if I'm feeling like I'm getting a cold or something. But moringa is a whole food. It's incredible. I do have information about it on my website if you want to go check it out, manifestheal.com. And I bring this up right now in this trauma time because some of you are probably having physical reactions to your trauma. I don't know. And this is me being transparent. I don't know where I was in my cycle when my father died. I can't remember that. That's not information that, I can't remember where my keys are. I put the peanut butter in the drawer and the jelly in the, you screw everything up. All the little stuff doesn't matter after somebody's passed away. Well, you don't remember that stuff either. Wherever I was in my cycle, though, is when the trauma happened. And I think that's what the PMDD is from. I honestly think that's where it's coming from. Because like many illnesses, it's psychosomatic, it's triggered. It's just got a trigger. Something traumatic happened at that moment when I should have been making the hormones or should have been whatever. I really do think it's directly related because of all of those types of illnesses as far as female health goes, PMDD is one that's triggered by trauma or like an emergency, anyway, that's the best way I can put it right now. It's kind of sensitive, but I'm here to share and learn how to share more with you all because I'm not good at it. So thank you for being here. So I really want you, if you're grieving this week, keep watching the videos. I'm going to try to do one as often as I can. Busy schedule, lots going on, but I'm dedicated to getting this done. Please take the time to drink some water. Eat anything. Guilt-free zone. If you're grieving, eat. Just eat. Remember to eat. I also would like for you to try the breath work again. Breathe in for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 6. If you can breathe in for 4 and exhale for 8, even 10 seconds, it's all the better. Just keep doing the breathing exercise. Don't worry if you can't meditate right now or you can't even pray right now. It's okay. Grief has a way of reaching through the expanse for us. And you are not alone. So I want to thank you all for being here again. I'm Jess with Manifest Heal. ManifestHeal.com is my site, where I do have some books and some teachings, but I also have grounding and energy boosting jewelry, things that block out the negative vibes, things like that. But they're great for meditation. They're great for affirmations. Getting grounded helps you physically in so many ways that it allows you to unlock yourself spiritually as well. So yeah, I think that is all we're going to have in this video. It's getting kind of long. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I will continue with this series as the weeks go on. We are going to be healing, reconnecting, and surviving through grief and trauma, regaining our spirituality, our connection to self, connection to others, connection to the earth, and connection to God. Okay? So I invite you to join me, and I love you, and I'll catch you on the next one, okay?